Upon the vast expanse of the winter road, my journey back from the familial embrace of the holiday season unfolded with unexpected twists and turns. Unaccustomed to extensive road trips, I typically preferred the convenience of air travel. However, this year, an inexplicable surge in ticket prices coerced me into the driver's seat, steering through the heartland of America. Having meticulously planned to return home a few days before the imminent workweek, fate threw a frigid curveball my way. A snowstorm descended upon my route, halting my departure and extending my stay by an unforeseen 2 days. Eventually setting forth on the delayed expedition, the desolate roads, now devoid of the holiday rush, lay before me like an uncharted territory. The first 8 hours of driving passed without incident. Though exhaustion set in, the snow-covered landscapes kept my senses sharp and alert. It was around 10 p.m., with a pre-booked hotel awaiting my arrival in a quaint town just 2 hours ahead. Yet, the monotony of the drive remained my most formidable adversary. As the isolation of the road played tricks on my drowsy mind, a flicker of light in my rearview mirror disrupted the silent night. The approaching headlights marked the first sign of another traveler sharing the road with me in over an hour. However, the anomaly wasn't the mere presence of another vehicle, but the rapid pace at which it closed in on me. The solitary beam expanded swiftly, revealing a formidable silhouette, a large van hurtling towards me with undeniable urgency. The single-lane road left me with no room to maneuver, and the impending presence of the speeding van only intensified the suspense. In the dance of shadows cast by the van's headlights, a mix of curiosity and concern gripped me. Anticipation hung in the air as the van drew nearer, its speed defying the solitude of the winter night. I strained to make out its details, the silhouette suggesting an enigmatic purpose. Despite the trepidation creeping in, a peculiar energy pulsed through the moment, as if the universe itself had conspired to weave an unexpected chapter into the narrative of my homeward odyssey. As the van closed the gap, the high-stakes game of brinkmanship played out on the frozen highway. With every passing second, the mystery of the oncoming vehicle deepened, leaving me to wonder whether this chance encounter held the key to an unforeseen adventure or an encounter with the extraordinary. The story of that fateful night, born from the convergence of a snow-laden road, a solitary traveler, and the enigmatic van, was about to unfold in ways I could not yet fathom. In the desolate winter night, as the van continued its relentless pursuit, a chilling realization began to take hold. It became apparent that the ominous vehicle had no intention of overtaking, but rather, it clung to my tail, casting a shadow of unease over the isolated road. For nearly 10 unnerving minutes, the vast expanse of the highway became the stage for a clandestine dance between my car and the enigmatic van. The van's proximity was unnerving, defying the norms of a safe following distance. Its imposing presence obscured even the visibility of its front bumper and license plate in my mirrors. A sense of disquiet began to gnaw at me, prompting a swift decision to take an exit leading to a gas station, hoping to shake off the persistent pursuer. Yet, the van, like a silent sentinel, followed my every maneuver. The gas station, a lone oasis in the snowy wilderness, beckoned as my refuge. As I pulled into the pump, the van seamlessly positioned itself behind me, further intensifying the mystique of the encounter. The flickering lights of the gas station revealed an eerie scene, the silence broken only by the mechanical hum of the pumps. As I surveyed the surroundings, a foreboding sensation crept in. The gas station, partially shrouded in darkness, seemed devoid of life. No open sign, no comforting glow of nearby residences, only a desolate field covered in snow and a solitary road cutting through the frozen landscape. Instinctively, I glanced at my rearview mirror, and there he was, a lone figure pumping gas, seemingly oblivious to the sinister atmosphere enveloping the station. With the cold realization that something was amiss, I hastened to fill my tank, watching the numbers on the gas meter tick with agonizing slowness. The man at the van concluded his task efficiently, closing the gas cap and moving towards the back. It was then, in that ominous moment, that an instinct, an unspoken warning, screamed at me to flee. Abandoning the pump, I scrambled into my car. In an instant, the serenity of the night shattered as 3 figures sprinted towards me from around the van. Panic surged as I locked the doors, the menacing ratcheting sound of the back door of the van opening lingering in the air. The would-be assailants yanked at my car handles with a desperation that sent shivers down my spine. A narrow escape unfolded as I sped away, leaving the gas station in my rearview mirror. The trio, devoid of hesitation, returned to their van, disappearing into the darkness from whence they came. A call to the authorities, an account of the harrowing encounter, but silence followed, an unsettling void where answers should have been. The haunting aftermath lingered, leaving me to ponder the sinister designs of those who sought the cloak of night to perpetrate their deeds. It was a brush with a malevolence so calculated, so professional, that it hinted at a nightmarish proficiency honed through dark repetitions. The unanswered question of what could have befallen me hung heavy, urging me to share this cautionary tale, a stark reminder that the open road, in its quiet expanses, may conceal dangers that defy imagination. A chilling plea resonates: heed the lessons learned in the silent night, for the road, even in its isolation, is not always free from the shadows that lurk within.
Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and activate the notification bell to receive all new updates.
Enthusiasm that made me slightly uneasy. He handed me the cash for the pizza, and as I made change, he invited me to join the party on the third floor. I hesitated, glancing at the dark, seemingly empty building behind him, but the promise of a good tip and a break from the monotony of delivering pizzas convinced me to accept. He led me through the dimly lit hallway to an elevator at the end. The building felt eerily quiet, with only the distant hum of the elevator breaking the silence. As the doors opened on the third floor, I was greeted by a sudden burst of laughter and chatter. The contrast between the desolate building exterior and the lively atmosphere inside was surreal. The man, whose name I learned was Dave, led me into the rec room. It was a surprisingly large space filled with colorful decorations, streamers, and a makeshift dance floor. A few dozen people were scattered around, engaged in conversations or enjoying the snacks and drinks on tables. Dave introduced me to the group as the Pizza Hero, causing everyone to cheer and clap. I chuckled nervously, trying to blend in. It was clear that this was an impromptu party, and I wondered why they had chosen such an obscure location for it. As I made my way to the corner where pizzas were set up, I noticed a diverse group of people. Young professionals, middle-aged employees, and even a couple of seniors, all seemingly from different walks of life. They were all engrossed in conversation, but their eyes collectively turned toward me as I approached the table. I began serving slices to the hungry partygoers, engaging in small talk and learning more about this mysterious gathering. It turned out that they all worked for a tech startup that had recently hit a major milestone. The celebration was spontaneous, and they had chosen this secluded location to keep it low-key. As the night unfolded, I found myself immersed in the lively atmosphere. The initial uneasiness I felt transformed into a sense of camaraderie. The tech workers were passionate about their projects and shared stories of their journey to success. The rec room transformed into a dance floor, and soon, I found myself being dragged into the celebration. Hours passed, and as the clock neared midnight, the party started winding down. I gathered my empty pizza boxes, and the group thanked me for being part of their impromptu celebration. Dave handed me a generous tip, and as I stepped out of the building, the once dark and silent exterior now felt less foreboding. As I drove back to the pizza place, I couldn't shake off the surreal experience. The unexpected detour had taken me from the mundane routine of pizza deliveries to a memorable night with a group of strangers celebrating their success in the most unconventional setting. It was a story I would share with friends and family, turning a routine night into an adventure that I would remember long after my pizza delivery days were over. One chilly evening in the fall of 2019, I found myself cruising the dimly lit streets in my beat-up car, embarking on yet another night of delivering pizzas for the local joint near my college. The job wasn't glamorous, but it kept me afloat financially. As the clock struck 6 o'clock, I clocked in for another grueling shift. After 3 hours of non-stop deliveries, I decided to take a short break for dinner before diving back into the hustle at 9:30. That night, however, would deviate from the ordinary script of mundane pizza deliveries. I accepted an order that led me on an unexpected journey into an obscure part of town, far away from the familiar sights of houses and stores. The GPS guided me through an eerie business center filled with small office buildings, devoid of any signs of life. The atmosphere grew tense as I navigated through an empty parking lot towards the front of a seemingly abandoned office building. The address on the order matched the building, but the unsettling emptiness of the surroundings raised my suspicions. The entire parking lot was void of any cars, and not even a single streetlight pierced the darkness. I parked my car and approached the glass door, my gut telling me something was off. Upon knocking, a middle-aged man with an overly excited grin opened the door. He welcomed me, claiming that everyone was hungry and eager for the food. The man, named Dave, hastily explained that the rest of the partygoers were on the third floor for a company celebration. Despite the odd circumstances, I decided to follow him, enticed by the promise of a good tip and a break from the monotony. The journey through the building was surreal, the contrast between the desolation outside and the lively atmosphere inside creating an air of mystery. The elevator doors opened on the third floor to the unexpected sight of a vibrant party. Laughter, music, and chatter filled the air as I was introduced as the pizza hero. The group, comprised of diverse individuals from a tech startup, warmly welcomed me. As I served pizza slices, I became part of their impromptu celebration, surrounded by stories of success and the joy of hitting milestones. As the night unfolded, the atmosphere grew increasingly lively. The rec room transformed into a dance floor, and I found myself swept up in the celebration. However, as the clock approached midnight, a sudden shift in the mood sent shivers down my spine. Dave, the man who had initially greeted me, approached me with an unusual request. He wanted help bringing pizzas up to the third floor. Conflicted, I hesitated but ultimately agreed. As we entered the dark stairwell, a cold rush of air and the absence of light sent chills down my spine. When I refused to follow him up the stairs, Dave's demeanor shifted from enthusiasm to anger. In a split second, I tossed the pizzas and sprinted out of the building, escaping into the night. I watched from a safe distance as Dave partly emerged from the front doors, only to retreat back inside and slam them shut. Fueled by fear, I called the police after relocating to a different parking lot. By the time they arrived, Dave had vanished, leaving behind a mysterious tale of an almost trap in an empty office building. The unanswered question lingered: what awaited me on the third floor, and who was the enigmatic man named Dave? The truth remained elusive, concealed within the shadows of that peculiar night. In the pre-dawn stillness of a small town, where the streets were draped in a blanket of darkness, a young worker's journey began at the heart of his father's construction empire. As the son of the proprietor, he played a pivotal role in the intricate dance of materials and manpower that wove the fabric of their small construction business. Amid the bustling yard and labyrinthine warehouse filled with the raw potential of construction materials, the young lad, a mere 17-year-old, embraced his role as the gopher, the errand boy, who shuttled between the warehouse and job sites, ensuring the seamless orchestration of construction projects. His days were an intricate dance with trucks, materials, and the ever-ticking clock. The story unfolded during those sweltering summer months when school obligations took a back seat, and the young man's responsibility to the family business surged to the forefront. His days started early, often at ungodly hours like 2 or 3 a.m., a sacrifice he willingly made to ensure that essential materials were delivered promptly to job sites. These early hours became his private sanctuary, a tranquil time when the world slumbered and he could navigate the quiet streets, unburdened by the pressures of external oversight. On one particular day, the young worker found himself embarking on a mysterious journey to a job site at the edge of the town. It was a repair job, a challenge that beckoned them to breathe new life into an old, perhaps abandoned, building. The anticipation hung in the air as he loaded his truck at the warehouse, the metallic clinks and clatters punctuating the silence of the pre-dawn hours. Upon arrival at the job site, an eerie sight awaited him. A solitary truck, its ominous silhouette blending into the shadows, sat parked near the building. Its lights were extinguished, and an unsettling stillness enveloped the scene. The young man's instincts tingled with unease. It was far too early for any legitimate workers to be present, and the unmarked vehicle only deepened the mystery. With cautious steps, he approached the enigmatic truck, its windows cloaked in an impenetrable tint. Attempting to peer inside, he found himself met with an impenetrable darkness. A sense of trepidation seized him, prompting a call into the void. "Hello? Is anyone in there?" he uttered, the words dissipating into the quiet morning air. Silence hung heavy, no response echoing back. The young man's curiosity evolved into concern, prompting him to seek guidance from the one constant in his construction odyssey, his father. Retrieving his phone, he dialed his father's number, each ring a beacon of hope in the dimly lit solitude. Minutes passed, but only the voicemail answered his call. Undeterred, he shrugged off the disquiet, chalking it up to a potential worker's personal vehicle left overnight. Resuming his duties, he began the intricate ballet of unloading materials, the rhythmic clatter punctuating the silent tableau. An hour elapsed, and with the task completed, he climbed back into his truck, its engine purring to life as he navigated away from the mysterious building and its unanswered questions, the shadows of pre-dawn secrets lingering in his rear-view mirror. In the wake of the mysterious encounter at the old building site, I left, my mind still grappling with the strange events that had unfolded. Little did I know, the tale was far from over. Glancing into the rear-view mirror, the once dormant truck suddenly flickered to life, its lights piercing through the darkness like accusatory eyes. Instinctively, I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding in my chest as I pulled over to the side of the road, the engine of my truck humming with tension. As the eerie glow of the truck's headlights cast an otherworldly glow on the surroundings, it began to reverse, revealing the presence of someone behind the wheel. Panic surged through me, no legitimate worker would stay silent when called out to. My gut instincts told me that this was no ordinary situation, and the mysterious driver had no intention of revealing their identity. Fumbling for my phone, I dialed my father's number once more, desperately seeking guidance in this bizarre scenario. The truck, however, had different plans. It pulled up alongside me, matching my pace as I strained to make the call. Glancing over, I locked eyes with the tinted windows, wondering about the enigma concealed within. My phone lay forgotten on the passenger seat, as the tension escalated with each passing second. Attempting to escape the unnerving encounter, I accelerated, only to find the truck mirroring my every move, like a shadow unwilling to release its grip. With nowhere to turn, panic set in as I realized I was trapped between the claustrophobic walls of trees on my left and the imposing presence of the truck on my right. Desperation took hold, and I shifted into reverse, hoping to break free from this nightmarish pursuit. To my horror, the truck mimicked my movements, inching backward until a tap against the rear of my car sent shivers down my spine. Losing control, my vehicle slid off the road, colliding with the unyielding embrace of a tree. As I grappled with the aftermath, the mysterious truck halted at the road's edge, as if contemplating its next move. But just as suddenly as the encounter began, the brake lights extinguished, and the truck sped away, leaving me in stunned silence. Within moments, another car pulled up, its driver rushing to my aid. A worker arriving at the job site witnessed the tail end of the bizarre encounter and identified the truck as belonging to Samuel, a fellow worker hired by my dad a few months ago. The shocking revelation unfolded: tools and materials worth nearly $10,000 had vanished from the job site, and Samuel was the prime suspect. It became clear that the surreal events of that night were driven by a desperate attempt to silence me, the sole witness. Samuel, fearing exposure, had resorted to drastic measures. Investigations later revealed a sinister truth: Samuel had likely been stealing gradually over the months, perhaps assuming that my discovery of his truck would lead to his exposure. As the dust settled, it became apparent that Samuel's identity was a web of deception. A man with no verifiable background, possibly an illegal immigrant or a felon concealing his tracks with fake or stolen IDs. The shocking realization lingered, a testament to the unexpected dangers that could lurk beneath the seemingly ordinary facade of a construction site. Though the encounter left scars on my memory, the likelihood of crossing paths with Samuel again was slim, providing a chilling conclusion to a night that had morphed into a suspenseful tale of deception, theft, and a narrow escape from the shadows of an enigmatic pursuer.